You're sitting down right now, longer than your body naturally wants to, and nothing about that feels strange. But for most of human history, staying still this long would have meant something was wrong. Not uncomfortable, wrong, because stillness didn't mean rest. It meant something had stopped working. So the real question is, why do ancient humans appear more capable, stronger, sharper, more resilient? And what changed so quickly that you don't feel that way anymore? Because something clearly did. And it didn't happen gradually. It happened fast. To understand this, you have to go back roughly 300,000 years to the earliest known populations of Homo sapiens. And what you find there is not a different kind of human. It's the same system you have now, just fully engaged. Movement was not something they planned. It was something they never stopped doing. A 2021 study from Stanford University, tracking the Hadza people of Tanzania, found they walked between 8 and 15 kilometers every single day. Not for fitness, not for optimization, just to live. No movement, no food, no water, no safety. Movement wasn't a choice. It was a requirement. A 2017 analysis in The Lancet shows modern adults average around 3,000 to 5,000 steps per day. Less than half. Sometimes less than a third. And the difference isn't just movement. It's outcome. Lower disease, better energy, stronger systems. Because walking wasn't added for health. It was the baseline. Fossil analysis shows early human joints were used continuously, not occasionally. Constant load. Sitting for long periods meant something was wrong. That signal never left you. This is why your body still becomes restless, stiff, uncomfortable after sitting too long. Because you are running a system that interprets stillness as a problem. Even a short walk resets you. Not because it's powerful, because it's expected. At Blombos Cave in South Africa, around 75,000 years ago, we find symbolic tools, but no writing, no storage, no external memory. Everything was stored in people. Anthropologist Daniel Everett documented hunter-gatherers maintaining complex ecological knowledge entirely in memory, precise knowledge, because forgetting wasn't inconvenient. It was dangerous. Memory wasn't optional. It was infrastructure. There were no backups. Your brain still prioritizes what feels important, what feels emotional, what feels urgent. Everything else gets dropped, not because your brain is weaker, because your environment stopped requiring full retention. At Shanidar Cave in Iraq, skeletal remains show humans surviving repeated injuries, broken bones that healed, without modern care. Stable isotope analysis shows irregular access to food. Eating, then not eating. Hunger wasn't failure. It was expected. Temperature wasn't controlled. It was endured. In 2001, Roger Kirch documented segmented sleep. 2 sleep phases. Even rest wasn't stable. There was no comfort baseline. This is why your brain still reacts strongly to discomfort, because it treats it as signal, not noise. At Lascaux Cave in France, around 17,000 years ago, animal paintings show precise observation of movement, muscle, timing, behavior. Attention wasn't divided. It was focused. Missing something had consequences. Your attention system still locks onto movement and novelty, which is why it gets hijacked so easily today. Early human groups stayed between 100 and 150 people. Dunbar's number. Everything was shared. Food, protection, responsibility. Burial evidence shows injured individuals were cared for. Isolation wasn't independence. It was risk, and your brain still treats it that way. At Oldoway Gorge in Tanzania, tool use evolved over millions of years. Capabilities didn't appear. They were maintained. Because they had to be. If a skill wasn't used, it disappeared. Immediately, but this didn't collapse loudly. It faded, quietly. Most of this happens without you noticing. A 2019 study in the Journal of Hand Therapy found grip strength has declined in younger adults. Not dramatically, but consistently. Enough to measure. The same pattern appears in endurance, in attention, in physical capacity. Nothing is collapsing at once. It's quieter than that. Functions that were once constantly used are now rarely required. And when something isn't required, the body stops maintaining it, not as failure, as efficiency. And then something changed. Fast. In just a few hundred years, movement became optional. Memory became external. Discomfort became avoidable. Attention became fragmented, which means the systems that made ancient humans capable are still there, but inactive, not because they're gone, because nothing requires them. You can still feel it. The urge to move, the discomfort of sitting too long, the way a simple walk resets your mind. You are running a program that expects a different world. If this made something click, subscribe to Venn. This channel is about the patterns you live inside every day without noticing. For hundreds of thousands of years, your body and brain were shaped by a world that demanded everything from them every day. And now, for the first time, they exist in a world that doesn't.